a job and paying rent, and they found themselves on the street. So, John,
Exactly.
John Drake's a little closer to the millennial side. What is your take on this? How would you reverse the homelessness issue in the state of California and make it a positive for the state?
Yeah, no. So I actually agree with Dave on this, that I believe in the housing first model, especially the one that's been implemented by Finland, and it's worked out great. So homelessness in California actually costs taxpayers more than just building housing infrastructure and then housing them for free. And so I'm 100% all for that. Besides, I think housing is a human right. Back in the 70s, we decided to commodify housing, and so that actually raised the prices of a lot of the housing because less units started being built, and so because of that, obviously there was higher demand. Anyway, so how I see that we also have to attack homelessness besides just housing is obviously we need prevention programs to begin with. So younger people, millennials, Gen Zers, and even Generation Alpha, we were all offered, I guess, we were all given the speech that if you just work hard enough, you can achieve success. We were all promised this dream that is just, frankly, unreachable to the vast majority of people within my generation. This dream is an absolute failure because of obviously the commodification of housing, but also just with corporations taking advantage of low-skilled labor. So wages being stagnant means that we're not keeping up with the ability to pay our average bills. You can work 3 jobs in Los Angeles and barely afford a 1-bedroom apartment. That's not good. And housing, buying an actual house is almost kind of like that's seen as a luxury nowadays than anything else. So young people just aren't into investing in things like housing. So what I want to do basically is that I want to create gap subsidies in order to allow younger people to be able to buy homes, but also decommodify the housing market so that it's not seen as a for-profit field, but rather it's seen more as a necessity. I also support things like SB 9 and 10, which would rezone certain areas to allow multi-family unit housing infrastructure to be built. I support the reconversion of unoccupied commercial space into housing. I don't really care about the PR of it. I think it's necessary with so many homeless people, and it's a real issue that we have to deal with like really quickly because it's just going to get worse unless we have the prevention programs in place. Which I talked about earlier, like drug and mental rehabilitation, and then the jobs building incentive programs that help these people get new skills to get back out into communities and fill the job roles that are not being filled. Part of what my platform is and what young people want is that we don't really care about buying homes. We don't want that stuff. What we want, how young people see freedom, how young people see the ability to live in California isn't so much like, oh, can I say this and that? Can I carry a gun? Can I do whatever? How they see it is basically freedom from want and having a sense of security in their money, a sense of security in food, housing. That's how we see us living our best selves. That's how we see living our best lives. And so I'm promoting that because that's what young people want. And if we're going to just allow people who are either very much older or very self-interested, we're going to have this conversation again in another 4 years.
Oh yeah.
And we see that we see that every single election cycle. Like Black Lives Matter, for instance, it comes in and out of the media once every 4 years. So you had in 2012, you had in 2016, and then 2020. What happened in 3 years between each one of those times? Did police brutality stop? No, it didn't stop. We just stopped talking about it because it was no longer politically expedient. And so young people, I guess, are just so tired of being used as talking points, getting idle promises for every election cycle. And so what I'm here to do is I'm here to just basically go, I guess, to Sacramento and tell everyone there, you know what, screw you, let's actually fix this problem. Let's fix it the way young people want it. We want a system of security. We want a system that isn't privatized. We want a system that meets our basic necessities for survival so that we can make money and then use it for things like self-care. That's what young people, that's what I'm here to give to them. And I will also say, because I'm finally on something with Jenny Ray LaRue, I absolutely love your TED Talk. I do follow it. I do watch it. And I'm